Yeah. He looks like a. She showed me a picture. I'm thinking so because she was. I didn't ask that question because I know it's just my first one, but I was like, so she was like, yeah, when he first started taking testosterone, his first shot, he had not had a period.
Oh, we got a first person. What's up? This is always awkward. What's up? I'm doing a live stream, so anything y'all say is gonna be on here. So you gotta tone it down. Over here talking about putting foots and dicks and shit. Yo, what's up, man? Y'all like my A2B shirt? I want to make a design just like this, but I need to sell all my merch. Yes, of course I miss Michael. Buddy, I miss you. I miss you the most. But okay, well, Michael, you're on here. You see this? I like this a lot. I want to do something like my blue R and then my white S3. Just like this. I need to sell all my dang shirts though. I got like a box of shirts out there. I've sold like 30, and I keep forgetting to like put it in videos to try and get people to buy stuff. But I want something like this. Like I want to make sweatshirts like today. I think it says, do I miss the R? I miss it a little bit. I don't miss all the issues I was having with it. I miss no lift shifting. I miss brake boosting. I just miss being quick more than anything. Like, do I really miss the car? I mean, I do, but I don't. Oh man, I wish I kept these comments up longer. There we go. I had to miss it. That's with it. What's up, Tyler? What happened to the R? Basically, my oil control valves in the cams went bad, and it put It put like metal shavings into the head, and then after I replaced them, like I drove, I cleared the oil out, this, that, and the third, and it didn't last much longer. I pulled the cam cover to the cams, and there was a bunch of damage on the cam journals, and so I just like threw in the towel. I was like, I'm done with this. So I started. Well, I wasn't officially done, and I talked about it to a group chat of mine, and then everyone started like offering to throw me a bunch of money for parts. So I was like, whatever, I'll let it go and get the Mark 8. I was really dead set on getting the Mark 8, and then I saw some posts on Reddit about the S3. I just so happened I was like bored one day on lunch break. I couldn't nap because I was too jacked up on Red Bull. So I started calling around and see if there's any S3s. I just wanted to like make a video, like driving it, test driving it, and I fell in love with it. So I took it home, and here I am. I regret building the R. I don't regret building the trans. I kind of regret building the motors. I think if I wouldn't have ever touched it, I think it would still be running just fine. I could have just left the tune where it was or whatever. I had to build trans. The only reason I built the motor is because I had to take the trans out anyway. So I was like, I'll just do both. And it just turned into a huge waste of money, basically. So, yeah, do I regret it? Kind of, yeah, I do. Yeah, I regret building the motor, yeah. I mean, and I don't know, because like at the same time, like I really enjoyed the whole breaking down and building it and, going through the whole 9 yards. That was like really informative and fun. I made a lot of videos on it. That's something I always wanted to do. So in that aspect, like the experience of building it, dope. But the outcome, not so dope. I mean, it was fun while it worked, but it seems like is my audio okay, guys? I don't know how good these AirPods are with live stream, but plans for the 8Y. I'm going to throw all that Brookline stuff in there. I don't know if I want to try out a DCC controller. I keep hearing everyone that's gotten a DCC controller tells me that it's like way better than coilovers. Just find a good set of camber plates and springs that you like, and then get a DCC controller, and it could be better than like a higher, not the highest end, but a decently high set of coilovers. The DCC controller could do better. So I don't know if I'll do that or not. But basically, I just want to focus on suspension, intake, downpipe, tune, some weight reduction here and there, but it needs to be like a safe daily driver. It's my only car now. I don't have the Jeep anymore, and I got a daughter coming in February. So as race car as a race car can be, and still have a car seat in the back and not be too crazy. So, I mean, a 10-second daily, it's great at autocross and fun on the street. Sounds like a plan to me. Do I plan to push the S3 as far or further than the R build? It depends on some aspects. Yes and no. I'm not gonna like rip out the interior for Kirkies for weight reduction or um, you know, harnesses or anything. Because like I said, it's my only car now, so I gotta have it safe for my daughter when she comes. But as far as like, I'm gonna do tubular subframes, like redo, all the bushings, sway bars, tires, wheels, brakes, all that stuff. Typical bolt-ons, fluid amper when they confirm or come out with one for the fourth gen, MPI whenever that drops. Like we're starting over fresh, so there's nothing really out there really deep yet as far as turbos or anything. I'd love to get a Garrett on there, a 4-inch downpipe like I had with the track slag, tune, obviously, all the good stuff. But it'd probably be mostly full weight besides like the subframes and stuff that I do and wheels, brakes. I'm not gonna rip out the back seats or anything like that. I need some paddles for this thing. Like the paddles are so small. Sorry, I'm trying to get back on these comments. So to answer the question, do I plan to push the S3 as far or further than the R? It's going to be faster just because it's DSG. But in terms of like part for part, probably not. But it'll be dope. Do you think if you would have took the motor to be built at a shop, you would have been fine, or do you think you would have had issues still? Asking because I want to build my motor at a shop. Well, I built the bottom end with a shop. Like we built it together. Like he taught me about cutting rings and putting the rings on. We did all that together, the bottom end. And I took it home and did the rest. And all that's simple. It's literally just kind of screwing things together. I mean, the timing I thought it was like really intimidating for me because there's like, all these chains and guides and this and that. It's actually really, really easy. I think the hardest part of like assembling it at home was getting the cams and all that situated. Because I didn't realize you had to put the cams in the cam cradle, and you got to kind of like then put it on the head and torque everything. Not that it was hard; it was just like weird. Like I was like, oh, this is like very interesting. But I mean, I don't think it would have made a difference now because the oil control valves are what went bad. And when I was reading and talking to other people, when you upgrade your valve springs, I guess it's harder for the cams to switch over because you know how they move. I guess that put some type of wear and tear on that, and I don't know, just not a good time. Do shop. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of shops out there that build motors night and day. I feel like you'd be fine with that. How's the ride with the Racing Line Springs? They're really good for daily. I don't think they're going to be that good on track because they're a little soft. Um, but like I just ride around in the sport mode or dynamic as Audi calls it, and it's not stiff enough for my liking. But I'm used to coilovers and having all that rear end Brookline stuff in. But I'd say they're good. I mean, I haven't had this car on track yet with these springs, but I had the same Racing Line springs on my Golf R before I did coilovers, and I tracked on those for a long time. I didn't really complain, but it was definitely worth going to coilovers just to have that extra camber and being able to manually adjust the rebound. Apparently, with a DCC controller, you can do like all types of crazy stuff with like rebound and whatnot. Thank you. Yeah, it's gonna be weird being a dad. It's so crazy because like we're saying like our daughter's room and like when our daughter comes, it still hasn't like fully hit me yet. I don't think. But do I like the white? I love the white. I absolutely love the white, especially because I have like the black optics package. Um, I really, really, really like it. If I mean, there is colors I would consider, but like like she had her old 320i wrapped in like a Nardo gray and it was great. It looked great. It was awesome. But the rock chips that she got in it, and it was black underneath, like it kind of was like shit. We should put PPF over it. Really, as if you're gonna do it, you might as well spend the big money. But I would do like a Nardo gray, or like a cornflower blue, or like some type of really bright yellow. Those are my three choices, other than like this nice glacier white that I really like. I don't think I'll change the color, but if someone would like wrap sponsor me, then yeah, I probably would. I ride both my kids around in my 10-second Audi, and they love it. I'm sure they do. I hope my daughter will be in the garage with me in a few years. I hope she likes things like that. Excuse my dogs. Check out HGP in Germany. They already have a Mark AR with over 500. Did they really? I'm about to type that in right now. HGP MK8. Is it on YouTube? Oh yeah, 500 and oh wow. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to watch that. Dang, HGP on it already? Are they able to actually tune it, or is it like with a JB4 style type thing? I do not still have the catch can or anything. The only thing I have left for that car is harnesses. The Schroth Racing harnesses. If anybody wants them, they're blue and yellow. They're dope. Barely used. I have an AC delete and a like racing line, like the tube that goes from the intake to the inlet, and I think like a EQT or racing line turbo muffler delete. And that's all I got left. Unless anyone needs crash bars front and rear, I have those and uh, stock radiator and shroud. Then I'm about to just throw most of that stuff away. And did I say ACD delete? ACD delete as well. Officially a bag member now. What'd you get? I'm about to buy a new car, but I'm stuck between the F80 M3 or the B9 S4. Which would you like and why? Leaning towards the B9 because I can't get away from. Yeah, you're asking a Volkswagen guy what he would get. I would get the S4 or even an S5, depending on what it's if you need the doors or whatever. But I like the B9 S4. What's his name? Shoot, what is it? Dang it! Let me see my subscription. There's a guy with really, really high quality YouTube videos. He got rid of his R for an S4. Let me see where I can find. Oh yeah, here it is. He has some really good. He just put downpipes and. Oh yeah, I do owe you one, huh, buddy? Well, this sip's for you. Mm. Mm-hmm. This is like Boost and something. No, not Boosted Euros. Driven by Boost. Go to that channel. It's really good. Super high quality videos. And they have a new S4 on there that's really actually that two of the guys on there have B9 S4. It's called Driven by Boost, and their quality is amazing. Like the video quality, really really nice. I miss you, Philly. What other cars did I consider before the S3? We did what was it? What body style was the M2? Uh, I drove like a 2018 M2 non-competition manual. That thing was pretty nice, but then when I posted on Facebook about it, everyone told me that motor's kind of shit. So I didn't do that, but the color was really, really nice. Driven by no shit, that's cool. They seem like pretty cool guys. His R was really nice too. I really wanted to drive an ATSV, but I already knew like the infotainment and stuff in that thing was going to be like a big no go for me. I'm not really a fan of American cars that much anyway. But I wouldn't mind. I'm like a big CTSV fan, but I never got to drive the ATSV. Really, there wasn't many cars that I considered because I was just so dead set on the Mark 8 until I saw the S3 on Reddit, and then I went and drove one, and I was like, "There's no way the Mark 8 is going to be worth not not even just the weight, but like just worth it in general because the whole I don't like the dash, the infotainment, the screen, the seats are like too like it seems like too childish for me. Like the way that the just everything looks and the front end of that car just I honestly think it's hideous. I think it's pretty rough. I was trying to make it grow on me. I just the more I see it, I'm just like and like the she was saying she was dogging on me on it for how it looked, saying I want this minivan and the Mark 7 and 7.5 looks way better than the 8, which I still haven't seen one in person, but once I saw the S3, I was like, well, it's the same motor as the Mark 8 Golf R, all-wheel drive, all my parts, all my Verkline parts and all that fit. And I was like, I'm taking it. Plus, I have real buttons for the AC controls and all that. All that Like on the Golf R, you have to go through like 5 menus just to turn the traction control off. Like that's crazy. And then it has the touch buttons on the steering wheel. Oh, like I work at a dealership and I drove a handful of the new Tiguan R lines and they have the touch buttons as well. And it's awful. Oh, yeah, it's awful, man. The front end of the Mark 8 is just not okay. Just like any angle, like it's the way the eyeliner goes back, if you want to call it, and then they have that front light. The front light, dude, that is whack. That is whack as hell. Like I saw, there was a picture of like 8 GTIs, like in like a half circle, and all of them had their little eyebrow light on. It was like dark, and I was like, that looks awful. It looks like a kid's like Hot Wheels like cartoon thing, exaggerated. I keep grabbing my mouse because like I'm in front of my computer as well. I feel dumb. Yeah, driven by Boost, man. Yeah, they did do that twin turbo VR6 too, huh? HGP, they're crazy. Glenwood. Yeah, the Mark 7 really did age well, like really well, really well. Still, every time one rolls into the shop, I'm like, damn. Like, there was a blue Mark 7 DSG that came in the other day, and I was like, man, made me kind of miss my car. No, so that's the only thing the S3 is missing over the Golf R, the Mark 8, is the rear end is different. The Mark 8 R and the 8Y, which is my body style, the 8Y, um, RS3, they both have the drift mode rear end, which I didn't really care so much for the drift mode. Like it'd be cool to make some videos about, but like the way it actually does work on track to like help you do things is really neat. But at the same time, like I never had an issue. Like I had my rear end tuned by United Motorsports to send more power to the rear, and it was great. Like the only thing it's missing really is like an actual diff. And now that I got an S3 that uses the same rear end as my old Golf R, I have a spare rear end. I am actively trying to sell it, but if I don't, I'll be able to send that unit off to get a wave track put in, and then I'll have like a real LSD in the rear, and that'll be better than having the new rear end out of the RS3 or the Golf R. So I think it kind of works out. Plus, like since it is the same rear end, I know 100% that my subframe, my control arms, toe arms, camber arms, like all those arms and bushings that I already have sitting in the garage will fit on this S3. So that's like 5,000-6,000 in parts that I did not want to try and sell and rebuy and this, that, and the third. So that's like another big reason I got the S3. I can't wait to put all that stuff into. I need to find time to do it. Yeah, the looks on the Mark 8. I mean, I'm hoping it looks better in person because I'm obviously a huge Volkswagen fanboy and I want them to sell cars and I want them to do good, just to, I hope that that either A, looks better in person, which I'm sure it will, but not to the point that I think they'll actually like it. And then I hope that like they do like how they did the Mark 7.5, that they do a refresh that is like way better. Because I mean, the majority of the people I talk to and see and hear, like, they don't like it. Like, they don't like it, especially. I mean, those touch buttons, man. I don't know. Oh, hi, $2. Thank you. That's cool. Nice little emoji. Appreciate. I'll drink to that. Those touch buttons are awful. They are absolutely terrible. And like every review I see, your hands are on the wheel. And on one side, you're hitting the steering wheel heater button, and on the other side, you're changing the the modes for the car. So you're going through sport, comfort, like on accident. So imagine that you're on track, doing your thing, or going through the mountains, and you accidentally go from sport to comfort, and your DCC changes, your steering changes, your what's it called, the throttle input changes. Like that sounds awful. Like maybe if they like had like an extra button or a mode where you could lock the buttons on the steering wheel so that they don't function while you're like a real track mode where it turns all those touch buttons off. That would be cool. What is best in life? Um, Hanging with my family, my people at a racetrack, or I don't know, around the fire. That'd be like my favorite thing to do. Just like relax with, surrounded by people that I could be myself around totally, you know. Or bombing some mountain roads. It's always fun. Or, you know, out on the street with your boys in the middle of somewhere like Houston or Dallas or Denver, just 30 deep, going back and forth on the highway. That's always a great time. Let me catch back up on some of these comments. It is a heavier setup. Yeah, it is a little bit heavier, but I think we'll be all right. I don't know how, well, it's definitely going to be way heavier than my manual car, that's for sure. But I don't think it's like any more like that much heavier than a Mark 8R or like the old S3s. What's cool, it already has a battery in the back, so I'm wondering if it's any more balanced than before. Greetings from the UK. I have been watching for some time and you inspired my Golf R build. Good luck with the S3. Thank you. And that's cool that I inspire people. That's pretty neat. And keep it up because Golf R's are dope and the 7s are awesome. And, you know, I don't want to go back on my word. Like, I am happy with my S3, but I do wish that motor never broke. Like, I'm sitting here talking about it. Let me show you guys here. I got this, where is it? I got this dope picture on my car right here. Yeah, look at that. This is gorgeous. Anyway. Which streetcar mods do you recommend for an S3 on full bolt on stage Q EQT with an exhaust? Streetcar. I mean, if you're already full bolt ons, I definitely recommend engine mounts and dog bone. That's like first things first. I mean, if you're taking any corners at all, I would get the front strut brace and rear hatch or rear brace from Eurocode. Those are really awesome. And what I've been recommending to everyone since I got them is the rear trailing arms from Verkline. They're anti-lift, so they help prevent the car from lifting, like the front end lifting on acceleration. They prevent that, and then they also prevent the car from nose diving while braking. Like they're like, I mean, they're $1,000 trailing arms, but they're super dope, like super duper dope. Tomorrow I'm going to go out and test drive. Well, not test drive, but go out in the S3 and get a bunch of draggy runs in since I put the wheels on, the lightweight wheels and the intake and sway bar and stuff. See 0 to 60, eighth mile, all that. And then I'm going to put those trailing arms on and see how much it changes, because I suspect those will do a lot for any car, and especially if you're putting more power to the rear, like your bushings are moving more, and you know everything is getting stressed out a little bit more with every little bit of horsepower that you add. And I think that those trailing arms can really improve. 60-foot, I mean, nosedive in the corners, braking, like they're great for street driving and track driving. I think those would be really good. Like once you get all the basics done, I do like some just stiffening of the suspension would be my 2 cents, and weight reduction if you can. What's the warranty? I have no idea. I have the EQT crowning kit sitting out there, and as soon as I'm hoping tomorrow, that's another thing I want to get done, is get that grounding kit in, and my warranty's going after that. I mean, I could revert it, but I ain't worried about it. Oh my God, yeah. When they asked about the warranty, I looked at her and I was like, are they serious? Like, no, yeah, no warranty for me. I already did my first oil change I'm about to do. I also have the Haldex and diff plugs, the magnetic plugs from Racing Line sitting out there. So I want to, at about 2,500 miles or so, I'm going to do those fluids, get the mag plugs in, and see how the pump screen looks at just 2,500 miles for the Haldex, because I don't want no issues. I was talking about the new rear end in that Mark 8 versus the RS3 is heavier. Oh yeah, I would imagine it would be. It looks like it's a bigger unit, but I think just because the S3 in general, it's got more sound deadening, and then being DSG, versus my Mark 7, which was manual, significant lighter just in that aspect. But then, with all the weight reduction I did, I probably added like 400 or 500 pounds going to this. I think my R was like right at like 2890. So this is probably like 34. So definitely adding quite a bit of weight. It doesn't really feel like it though. And for being stock, okay. So I never got to do a draggy in my Golf R once I moved to sea level out here on the East Coast with even with the beta turbo or anything, or on the 85. So my best run with my Mark 7 was 1199, which I have a screenshot. I think 1199 at 109, and that's, mind you, at 4,200 feet on a crappy road, manual car. I did 1199 with all the mods and everything I had done to that thing. That's right before I went E85 and built the motor and the trans and stuff, mind you. But in this car right now, I think I did I might do like a 12.4, I think. So I'm like half a second off on the basically totally stock car. It blows my mind. Oh, look, Michael texted me. I will get those to you, Michael, if you're still listening. Let's see. Let me open up my Draggy real quick. Let's see what that run was. I took a video of it, but it was on a curve too, so that kind of sucked. Yeah, 12.47. Like, easy. Oh, I keep grabbing my mouse to try and see these comments. To crush your enemies, to see them driven before you, and hear nations of women. Oh boy. I dig it. I don't know what that lame, and I don't know what that word is. I'm sorry. My R build is going well, and I wanted to reach out to tell you to get the Do 88 cooler. It made a huge difference to mine. I have 456 left on stage 2. What does that mean? I have 456 left on stage 2. But the Do 88 cooler, I've been emailing with them. I was actually emailing with them when I still had my Mark 7, and I was going to get their intercooler, but the AMS kind of fell into my lap. But as soon as their intercooler is ready for the 8YS3, I'll have it. I've been emailing them. Actually, I told them I'd follow up with them in December. They said they should be ready by the end of the year for the Mark 8 GTI Golf R S3 A3. So, yeah, they do 88. That's definitely going to happen. Looks like Verkline can do a rear lower control arm. Yeah, they have the whole rear end set. I even did the bushings for the knuckles. I think they're like comparable, or they kind of copied the design out of like a Porsche 993 or something. That use these. They're not like rubber bushings; they're like metal bushings that you put in your rear knuckles there, and like doing all that like significantly. Like at autocross, the rear end was so stiff I could like point and shoot the car almost exactly how I wanted. And having the longer gears in that dog box, it was a diesel dog box that I built. They really, man, you guys are making me reminisce. Oh, hopefully this DSG is just as fun to race with. The autocross would get really annoying because I would lose time shifting, so I would just wind up sitting on the rev limiter rather than shifting and then having to downshift again. So we'll see. I feel like I could have been a lot faster with a DSG car at autocross, and especially on the street. Because once my trans got hot, once that fluid got hot, it would lock me out of gears, and it would just not. It was not a good time. The Volkswagen's manual transmissions are kind of poop until you build them. And even then, with the built one, I didn't get all that much time on. But it was a lot of fun when it was running. How do you fix Mark 7 understeering for track use besides rear and front sway bar negative camber? Thanks. Look up the Eurocode strut brace. Actually, well, if you already have a front sway bar, they say not to run a front sway bar with that. But that front brace is really, really nice. Like super really nice. Along with, I mean, you said not camber, not sway bars. I mean, a lot of it is that. Like getting rid, control arms up front. I did the white line. Yeah, the white line front control arms that added camber and caster, and that helped quite a bit too. Basically, you want to get rid of understeer. You need to add camber and you need to stiffen up the rear because the cars are made to understeer from the factory. Because most people can, like, say you're in the snow or in the wet and something's happening, like it's easier for a normal person to control understeer than what it is to control oversteer. Like a normal person would probably, spin their car rather than the front's just skidding until they gain traction and you can, maneuver. So you need to tighten up the rear more and then get the front a little bit more grip. And then that will really help. My car, wouldn't, unless I was full lock going way too fast into a corner, it wouldn't really understeer. And a lot of seat time really helps as well. But I mean, if you already have, my car had 3.1 degrees negative camber up front and then negative 1.9 in the rear with a 10th inch toe out in the front and a 10th inch toe out in the rear for an alignment. And it was really good, really, really good. It helped the rear rotate quite a bit. And then I had 9 degrees of caster up front with those control arms. That really helped steering feel. And caster also adds camber when you're turning the wheel. So say you have negative 3.2 degrees of camber when your wheels are straight. When you add caster, that increases the amount of camber when your wheels turn. So say, I don't know what the exact number would be, but say it's, negative 3.2 when the wheels are straight, I could potentially have negative 4 or more when you add more caster when the wheels turn. So caster can definitely help. But also another thing you got to watch out when you add caster, because it's moving the front wheels forward from where they are. You might start rubbing your fender liners, which is what I did. I wound up completely destroying my fender liners. I should have raised the car a little bit, but I was an idiot and didn't. So there's some ways. Get a front strut brace, rear brace, control arms that add caster, and if you can't add any more camber or you don't want to, then you definitely need to change out some bushings, stiffen things up, and then seat time and a good alignment. What trans fluid was I running in my stock or on my OEM trans? I was running OE fluid. In my built trans, it was 175 W90 Motul, some really thick blue stinky fluid. And so whatever FFE recommends for their built trans. Have you seen Horn versus a World 2? It's going to be crazy. Versus a World 2, there's a second one? Let me look that up. Y'all are telling me all about all types of stuff. Horn versus the World. Updated yesterday. Is it a whole video? I do I try and keep up on the all the single races. I didn't see that one. Or 2,000 horsepower. Oh no, that's because it's not the unicorn though. What do you guys think about Ken Bluff going to Audi? I was watching those videos. That's pretty dope. And his daughter, I didn't know his daughter raced too. I saw that in the video just the other day. Apparently, she has her own YouTube channel. So I just found this out today. You can follow Hank Iroz on Facebook. When he gave his Audi R8 to Ken Block's daughter to go out and mess around in. He said that's she is one of the first people to drive this R8 full throttle. And he said that's the first time that he has seen his car being driven, him standing on the outside. So I want to go watch that. I don't know what her channel name is, but if you go to Hank Iroz's Facebook, he posted a link to her channel. It's something I need to download and watch. Oh, you have 456 foot-pounds. Nice, dude. That's moving. 450. Yeah, you gotta keep it around that level. You're on the edge there. Well, that's pushing it. That's nice. When are we going to Blue Moon again? What up, Jess? I don't know. Not anytime soon because this baby girl's about to pop out in a couple months. But I'm definitely down to go back up to Denver. I love that place. What ultimately led you to getting the S3 after doing so much on the R? Do you wish you would have just got the S3 and skipped building the R? No, I don't regret anything about the R besides building the motor. But even then, once you break down me saying that, breaking down the motor and building the motor, I really enjoy doing that, and I don't regret the process. But in hindsight, I wish I wouldn't have built it because it would still be running. But let me go back to the question. What ultimately led you getting the S3 after doing so much to the R? Well, the R it really made me upset because it broke not too long after building it, and I had to trailer it broken all the way across the United States. And I'd spend money, fix it, it'd run for a day, break. Money, fix it, run for a day, break. Waiting for parts, waiting for this, waiting for that. And after a while, it just like every time I walk into the garage, it made me sick. Like it literally made me sick. Like I was depressed because my car was broken. I did not, I'm here all summer, all the race event, all the autocrosses, all the street racing, all the this and that, Shoutout, what's it called? Wookiees in the Woods, like all these different things going on. The Mark 8 reveal up north, all these different things that I wanted to go to, but I'm not gonna go in my Jeep, So I was like really upset on top of the car already, being broken. So I was just like, once I saw damage in the head, I was like, I'm done. I'm done. And like I said, I went into my group chat, and homie was like, I'll buy your brakes. So the dude was like, I'll buy this, I'll buy that. And it didn't even take 24 hours for someone else to hit me up and be like, hey, let me get your shell. And I was like, sold. I'm pulling the motor and trans tonight. I mean, it's taken me a while to part out. I just sold the trans like 2 weeks ago, and he's doing payments. So I still got parts sitting out there and this and that. But I mean, I'm a big Volt, so I had a Mark 4 R32 before the Golf R that I didn't build the motor, but I supercharged it. Wound up sucking sucking water into the motor. Bent a rod. Wound up parting that out. I didn't know that the rod. I thought I put a hole in the block. I didn't know anything about anything back then, mind you. But something was bad. I got locked up. I figured it was done. Turns out it was only a bent rod. Like that was all that was wrong with it. So they replaced the bent rod, put the motor back together, and the car's being driven around to this day still. So I mean, I've made some bad decisions and good decisions, but because of that rod being bent, it got me into the Golf R. And because of this stuff happening with the Golf R, I kind of see it as the same window. Now it led me from the Golf R, now I'm to the S3, and then from here, who knows what's next? Maybe I'll get lucky and my stocks will go through the roof, and I'll get an RS3 or something cool. I don't know. Just after a while, it just really hurt me to walk out in the garage and see that car broken, and I just throw money and parts at it. Doing research day and night trying to figure things out, and just being so hyped. Oh God, yeah, this part has to fix it. This has to fix it, and it seemed like it would, and then something else would happen. I was just like, I'm done. Like I'm done throwing money at this thing. I didn't really have a large amount of money to buy new cams or a used head and throw one there. Plus, I was just so tired of just dealing with it. It was just really, really annoying. So I was trying to like push it out of my brain. Just get rid of it. Don't look at it. Don't think about it. Just get rid of it. And here's something pretty to focus on now. So that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I'll always miss that car. I miss my VR6 still, my Mark 4 or 32. But they both taught me a lot of things. And now, with this car, I won't do a bunch of the mistakes I did with the Mark 7, which, I've been 4 different intercoolers on that car, handfuls of tires, different brake pad and fluid combinations, like this, that, and the third. I did a bunch of testing already. I probably had like 14 different alignment setups on that car, and now I pretty much know what to aim for. That saves a lot of time and money, and so I can just like get down to business with this car after learning, all these things, trial and error, basically, over the years. Race car friends usually dislike Subarus. Doesn't everybody dislike Subarus? I'm kidding. I got a couple friends with them. Actually, in my dealer lot right now, there's a 2019 STI, the S209. There's only 209 of them made. It actually looks pretty nice. I wouldn't spend $70,000 on any type of Subaru, but the thing is pretty dope looking. It is cool. I don't really know. There was one guy I used to autocross with, Skyler. He had a really dope STI. There was actually, there was a couple of guys with STIs that I went head to head with in autocross that were really good, really, really good drivers, really fast cars. I don't really see many fast ones on the street, but I do really enjoy, what's his name, V8 Bait, like one of the faster Subarus out there. Don't forget to get, my Jetta. I had a Golf front end swap on my Jetta, which was my first Volkswagen. I'll never forget that thing. 2.8 liter VR6 manual. I think it was a 5-speed. Was it 6? I think it was a 5-speed. Had underglow on that thing. Cold air intake. Tell you what, I had the peanut butter interior. Always got pulled over in that thing because I had a fuse that would always blow from my right tail light. Caused me a lot of trouble. When am I buying an RS3? If my GameStop shares hit 69,420, I'll buy an RS3. I'll sell you an Evo I'm tired of. No, but you got to keep that. Keep both of them. Keep one of them at least. What happened? What happened to you? I gotta text you about that. I thought you were selling, getting some full ring stuff. Clutch. Oh, I can't talk. I just got new braces in. I got kind of a list. Best clutch kit for the Mark 7. Personally, I only have experience with one clutch, and that was the South Bend Stage 3 Daily. But I hear a lot of good things about, I think it's called Ringer Racing. A lot of people on the EQT page talk about the Ringer Racing clutches, and apparently they're really good. I don't have any experience. The only thing I can tell you is stay away from the BFI clutches, stay away from the DKM clutches, and then the South Bend Stage 3 Daily. Stage 3 Daily did me phenomenal. I got another buddy, Kyle. He runs that same clutch in his dog box, and he beats the ever living hell out of his car at Road Atlanta, and it's holding up. So, South Bend Stage 3 Daily is my vote. Buy once, cry once. Buying you an RS3? Oh, brother. Yeah, we definitely need to get Rich Olson talking about buying anybody anything. Poor enlisted boys need the help. Yeah, I hear that. Why don't you take a deployment or two? Throw some money in the stock market. You'll be able to get one. Yeah, sorry, I didn't read that right. You should have bought a stock motor and put that back in your R and kept it. I honestly thought about it, but I didn't have the money up front. Like I needed to sell things to be able to get that. Like I weighed out a lot of things. I was looking at motors and I was like, well, what if I get, a junk motor from LKQ or like this and that? And I was like, then I got to worry about, doing all these things. I was just like, I don't want to deal with it. I definitely considered it. I don't even want to put more brain power into it because I'm already, set on the new car. But it wasn't a bad idea. I just was so pissed off with the car not working that I was like, nah. That and I really wanted a Mark 8R. Like I wanted like the new Gen 4, see what everything's about, and then things just went all over the place once I decided to sell it. And I don't know. Oh yeah, you do. Yeah. No, for me, like my capital gains would be like I was looking the other night. I think one's in January, like 16th, and the other one's like early February for that 1 year capital gains stuff. So maybe it'll hold. I mean, I'll be happy taking it out before then if it's enough money, but I'll hold on to my stocks. I've been playing. I actually just got approved like a month ago to do what's it called, options trading. If you guys don't know what options are, which is pretty crazy because a lot of states don't allow gambling and this and that. The stock market literally is gambling, and I'm addicted to it. So instead of just like buying a stock and just watching the money go and you can sell it, you can do these things called options, and you can basically you're betting if the stock is going to go up or the stock is going to go down, and you can make a lot of money off that. Like I bought like Robinhood. You guys know heard of the Robinhood app? I bet against it. Like I bet that it was going to go down. I did that like 4 or 5 times just the other week. I made a decent chunk of change, but it just kept dropping and dropping, and even dropped today. Today it hit its all-time low twice. And I should have bet against it. I didn't. But the options trading is actually pretty cool. You can lose a lot of money really fast, but you can also get a lot of money really fast. There's a site called Unusual Whales, and they have like a lot of alerts for options or side bets, as I call it, and they have like a 90-something% turnout rate with that. I think it's like high 90s. Every time they put out an alert like that, like 90% of the time you'll make money, and it's like really cheap to pay for. So they do like some free ones on their Twitter and stuff. Yeah, you have been. Yeah, yeah. See, what I learned is like if you feel like okay, X stock is going to go up, like always do the opposite. Like it's a weird thing. If I do the opposite of what I thought I would initially do, that's what the stock does. So I usually would go in like, hey, yeah, it is, and it is. It's literally a pocket casino. It's crazy, and it's super addicting, like really addicting. Like, and that was another thing why I wanted to part out the golf, because like I was like, well, I can use like $2,000-3,000 just to throw in and start doing option trading, and that's exactly what I did. Like the first, like I think my big break kit and my coilovers, that money went straight into my broker account, so I could like bet money on stuff. Yeah, it's super addicting, but I'm up like quite a bit. I just don't want to pull everything out yet until I either hit that capital gains or I hit like the absolute money goal that I want, and then you'll get taxed a bunch, but it'll be worth it. I learned a lot this year. I only started doing stocks in January because of GameStop and all that, and it's been a wild ride this year. Every night I probably spend 30 minutes to 2 hours just like reading about stocks and stuff like that, just trying to make some side money. I just put a big bet on Metaverse. Ooh, yeah, I've heard some things about that. Um, I'll have to look into it. I try not to look into too many things at once because my ADD brain is very bad, especially like when I'm trying to go to sleep. My brain doesn't shut up. I hope your bet works out though. That would be nice. I'll have to open up another tab here and look at the numbers. I've seen people. It's popped up because I'm in a couple group chats with people that one's just like a chat, like talking about stocks and stuff, and then they have another one that's alerts. And I've seen something about metaverse stuff. There's also Loop Ring. I almost jumped in on that like last week, I think, which I probably should have, and I haven't looked because I don't want to be upset that I didn't do it. Do you think just discharge pipes is upgrade needed? For stage two, I would say no. But anything above stage two, I would say yes. But I mean, really, what you're not with most of those parts, like a good intake, discharge pipes, stuff like that, you're like, what you're doing is helping the turbo work less. So I say, is it needed? No. But would it help? Yes. Because like if you do a log of your wastegate duty cycle, like before and after you do those charge pipes or a less restrictive intake, you're going to see that the turbo is working less to make the same amount of boost. So like, is it needed? No. Is it going to like directly make you more power? Maybe, maybe not. But either way, you're helping the turbo work less, which really, if the turbo is working less, you're raising your ceiling to making more power, if that makes sense. So your turbo was working at 100%, and you added the discharge pipes. Now your turbo is only working at 90%. So you just gave yourself more headroom, potentially, because of airflow and stuff like that. I don't know all the science, but from what I've gathered, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like stuff like that, lowering the wastegate duty cycle is always a huge plus. It's definitely not a waste of money, but is it needed? No. There's other things I would buy before discharge pipes, like a fluid amber crank pulley. That's something you can feel immediately, immediately. And don't use the OEM bolt. Get the ARP bolt. They're probably on back order, maybe, maybe not, but those are worth it, especially if you're a manual car. The fluid amper is dope. I'm on here for about 11 more minutes. We've been on here for 48 minutes already. And I appreciate y'all hopping on and asking questions and stuff. Let me know if I should do this every week. If you guys would like me to do this stuff every week or every other week. I know, like, the German guys, like right now it's like midnight. So like some of the guys commented on there and said that like I would join, but it's midnight where I live. So maybe I'll try and get maybe 1 week, do it during a week like this, and another week try and get like a weekend where I do it like way earlier in the day so people in other countries can hang out. All right, let me get back to the comments here. Are you going to the Shop That Meet Saturday? No, dude, I'm so upset about it. And then he just said that Megan is going in her blue Mark 8R. She's going to be there. I have guard this weekend. So it's like I rejoined the military and it's only on weekends and it's once a month and you can't call off. I texted my supervisor last night. I was like, hey, something popped up. I don't have to go, but like if I could go and miss Saturday, like how does that all work? And she's like, you basically have to be dying or having a baby to be able to skip work. So I can't go. Have you seen the twin turbo LS swapped 3 Series with an M3 dual clutch? I have not. Is there like a name of a video you can tell me so I can bring that up? I got like 5 tabs open and stuff you guys are telling me about. I know y'all missed the Golf R. I won't get another one unless I get rich. Yeah, that's the truth. This car is going to be, I mean, it doesn't look like a Golf R, but they're same drivetrain basically. This car will be faster for sure. And I really like the white. As much as I love my blue, this white is so nice. I call it glacier white metallic, and it's gorgeous. And I really like the Stormtrooper type look. And this is like the first car I've had. Well, I guess my Mark IV, I put a lip on that. But like the lips they have for this already, and the side skirts and the diffuser and all that, and this looks so good. And like another thing over why I got this over the Mark 8, it comes with, what's it called? The mirrors tuck in when you lock the doors. It's got pedal lights. It's got what else? Oh, like the rear tail lights are dynamic. It has like you guys know what I'm talking about. It has like a bunch of like small things that are really, really nice. And it's got like basically like self-driving. Like I set cruise control and it does the steering wheel for me. I set the distance. I chill. I just basically have my hand on the steering wheel and just like do whatever I want. Just like relax. It's super dope. Do I think I went far? I definitely went far. I probably went too far with the Golf R. Damn, I just put in the OEM built for the dampener. Just make sure you torque it right. As long as you torqued it, like as the book says, you'll probably be good. But I've seen stories, and personally, I had a OEM bolt back out on me. So definitely at least like get a marker on there, a mark on the bolt head and on the pulley, so you can do like periodically check that bolt is not backing out. Because if that bolt backs out, your timing chains are going to come undone. Your pistons are meeting the valves. It's not a good time. Dang, you're at Fort Bragg. That's awesome. I bet there's going to be so many people there. I could probably make 2 or 3 videos out of Saturday alone if I could go. Like, I'm super duper upset that I can't go to that. And I talk to Paul, every week. I wouldn't say every week, but I do talk to Paul, here, there. And he was telling me, like, when we pick up this Mark 8, you're more than welcome to come up, whatever. We're going to make an event. I was like, hey, let me know. And then boom, of course, happens on the weekend where I can't call off or anything. Like, I cannot, like, there's multiple opportunities where I would have been able to meet Paul and Home Mechanic. And I just, every time that opportunity pops up, something else is like keeping me from going, whether it's a broken car or having to work. Now I got a car working. Of course I got to work. It's like, it's always something. It bothers me so much. Feedback on the best tune I had. I can tell you Eurodyne was not a good tune. I had United Motorsports from the beginning. I had United Motorsports on my Mark IV when it was naturally aspirated, on my Mark IV when it was supercharged, and I went with United Motorsport on my Mark VII until I started doing like bigger mods because they're 8 hours away from me. So, I mean, United Motorsport is dope. Their no lift shift's awesome. Their Haldex tunes are great. Their adjustable launch controls, like the bomb diggity. They're just great. The only thing I don't like about them is that there's no way to like data log. Like there's no device. There's no way to hook up to a computer and do data logs, which is why I really like Cobb. Of course, and you can be like remote tuned anywhere in the world with that. So, I mean, my Cobb tune was great as well. Tuned straight from Ed Sussman. He got my launch control exactly how I wanted it. Like the tune was great, boost control, everything. Logs were flawless. I don't think you can go wrong with either one, honestly. Like a custom tuned from Ed himself, or anything United Motorsport. It really just depends on how far you are away from UM and how much control you want over the customization side of the tune, and if you want to be able to do data logs and diagnose things yourself. Like if you're not a very mechanically inclined person and you don't care to do data logs and troubleshoot and swap parts, I mean, unless you just want, someone who does tune through Cobb, like I feel like the best reason to get a Cobb device like that is to be able to troubleshoot yourself instead of sending your car to a shop. I feel like a lot of people today, they try and do work themselves and they break it, then they take it to a shop, and shop doesn't really want to touch a car that's already been touched, and they're paying extra money for someone else to do it or something along those lines. Or then again, there's people that I see a lot of things. I'm kind of just rambling now, but UM and EQT were both great tunes, I think. I really, really liked them. And we'll see what happens with this S3. I don't know who's going to be first to crack the ECU. I'm not going with APR ever. So a couple people telling me to get the JB4 for now until something comes out, like a real ECU tune. I don't want to spend the money on something that I know I'm just going to get rid of, like 100%. So I don't really know how I feel about the JB4. But it would be cool to see what it's like with a little bit more power. I really want to watch this HGP Mark 8 video. Let's see other comments here. Joined in late. Missed your comments on Understeer. Can you give a brief summary? Camber, number 1. Caster, number 2, because caster gives you more camber as the wheel gets turned. Front support, like dead set kit, helps a lot. I forgot to mention that one earlier. So the Tyrol Sport dead set kit or the 034 dead set kit, depending on what kind of subframe you have. If you have an aluminum one, the Tyrol Sport one won't work completely, but it does a pretty great job. But the 034 one, I believe, is made for the aluminum one. Either way, dead set kit is a must. Plus, it centers your subframe so that your camber is actually even on each side, because the subframe has elongated holes and it'll shift under weight. So that front strut brace from Eurocode, it's adjustable, so you can put as little or as much tension as you want on it. And that's really nice. Rear brace, they have undercarriage braces that'll help too. Basically stiffen up the car, get the slop out of the bushings, whether that's going to a stiffer polyurethane or going to like in other words, getting away from me, like a ball bushing, pillow bushing, like a metal type bushings. But mostly what you need is more camber up front and a good alignment, which, I mean, kind of camber is in the alignment, but you need camber plates or the different knuckles or different control arms and a combination of those to get in the near 3-degree range, depending on the kind of track you go to. That, obviously, rear sway bar, all that really helps a lot. And if you're lowering your car, get adjustable end links. Non-adjustable end links aren't doing anybody any favors ever. Like, as you lower the car, the spot on your strut where it meets the sway bar, like that area is going down. So unless you get specific end links with your springs that are already made to size, then you'd be okay. But otherwise, like, you need adjustable ones so you don't have any preload on your sway bars. Once I got adjustable end links, my car handled way different just doing end links and getting them adjusted properly, because there was so much preload on my sway bars from my car being low, and just using the ones that came with my BCs and like the non-adjustable 034 spherical ones in the rear. They weren't adjustable. So it had all this preload on the sway bars. So my sway bars weren't able to do their jobs as well in the corners. And once you get adjustable ones, you get the car flat on the ground and you make sure there's no preload. You literally get your hand up under the bumper and turn that thing and make sure there's no preload. Take the wheels back off, tighten the end nuts, and you're good to go. You'll feel a huge difference, especially if your car's already lowered and you don't have adjustable end links. That makes a huge difference, and that helped a lot in the corners. But camber's number 1. Camber and a really good alignment. Camber, caster, rear sway. I never even put a front sway on my car. I did the front strut brace, rear sway, end links, camber. It was great. Okay, last questions here, guys. I'm getting off here. I got a grill to turn on. I'm starving. You clearly had a lapse in judgment. Rejoining the guard. Money. Yeah, that's all I'm going for with that. Yeah, that's like I was a contractor before I moved out here, and I can't find there's no jobs for contractors to do drones out here at all. Like you can't have drones flying over these cities and stuff like that, from the desert. So I thought, I don't know what I was thinking. And they're prop planes, so I can't come out here and work on just jets. I don't have certifications for jets. I don't have certifications for like Cessnas or anything either. All my background is unmanned aircraft, and it's like predominantly Navy out here too. So yeah, I joined back in doing electrician stuff, trying to just get my foot in the door to get back to be full time, but we'll see. How am I liking the S3 so far, dude? I love it. Factory launch control is awesome. The car basically drives itself when I want to. Looks really, really, really good. Actually, kind of crazy how much I missed having a sunroof in my like daily fast car, which I mean it does add weight, but love me a sunroof. It looks great in pictures with the top back, and the car is just sexy, like all around sexy. There's a little thing in the back, like the diffuser doesn't go up as high as I want it to, and it has like some fake honeycomb. There's a diffuser, a couple out there that already get rid of that. So there's a couple exterior things, and I'll be set basically. I just need to add power and get some seat time. It looks really, really good, in my opinion, of course. A little biased, but I love it. All right, we just hit 61 minutes. Answering the rest of the question. Thoughts on Mabotech? That's a big no for me, dog. Are you trying to adopt me? I don't know. We trying to adopt anybody? Nope. She says nope. Sorry. Thanks. All right, guys. Well, thanks to those who tuned in and commented and left tips. That's pretty freaking dope. I'll try and get back to doing this more often, at least till the baby comes. Um, I think that's all I got. Appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm gonna finish this beer, get the grill going, and eat. So, y'all take care. There'll be a video for you guys Friday. Seriously, let me know if you guys want to do more of this. If you go to the page and go to community, you'll see I like make actual posts on YouTube. Just let me know there. I guess there's on Instagram or something. We got one more. Are you going to commit to this car or trade in for an R whenever available? I'm not trading it in for an R. There's no way. They're hideous. And the steering wheel buttons, gross. Not a fan. All right, guys. Take care. Thanks for joining.